I want to talk about red, wine, and blue. Katie, thank you for being here. So this fight really did span, you know, across women. I mean, the numbers are showing that 20% of Republicans, you know, we don't know if they're all men or women, voted no in Kansas. We know that this cut across to independents. This was not a partisan issue. It was a bodily integrity issue. What do you make of the result in Kansas?
You're absolutely right. Last night showed us that the votes of millions of Americans can absolutely overwhelm the votes of 6 conservative extremist Supreme Court justices. And you're absolutely right. Just look at Johnson County last night. That is one of those big, populous suburban counties right outside of Kansas City. Now, in 2020, they voted for Biden by 8 points. Last night, they supported reproductive freedom by 36 points.
Wow.
That's a 28-point gain, okay? And in Johnson County, yeah, there's Democrats, but there's a whole lot of those Republicans and unaffiliated voters. Across the state, about 50% of the votes in support of reproductive freedom came from Republicans and unaffiliated voters. So this is not just about Democrats, absolutely. And there are Johnson counties all over this country. Here in my state of Ohio, that's just like Delaware County. In Michigan, that's just like Kent County and Oakland County. So what we saw last night, there is so much more to come. Women are fighting back, and we are talking to our friends about it too.
Can we put our map up? My map by my wonderful producers created. It shows what states are restrictive versus protective, and it's a range. So if your state is, you know, considered a little bit restricted, that doesn't mean that it's not a free state. But those red states are where it's the worst. Do you believe, Katie, that this is going to be a voting issue, even in red states? Because Kansas definitely indicated that it could be.
Absolutely. I mean, my networks have just been fired up today, and that is women in blue states, purple states, red states. They are energized by what they saw out of Kansas last night. The truth is that abortion access is truly threatened in half of this country. But what we know, and what I know from suburban women and looking at all the data about suburban women, but also because I'm talking to them every single day, 86% of suburban women believe that the right to decide whether or not to have an abortion should be between a woman and her doctor. That should not be up to politicians and the government. They do not support government-mandated pregnancy. They believe that you cannot be for freedom and government-mandated pregnancy at the same time. They believe Republicans have gone way too far, and they know that their freedoms are under threat. The consequences of this decision have been immediate and far-reaching. This isn't something that is just impacting some women. It's impacting all of us. So I think the consequences are going to be huge in November. And all those saying that, oh, the women, they'll settle down by then, they'll simmer down by then. Have they met many women? That is my question for these people.
You haven't met any at all. This is an issue that goes beyond abortion. It goes to ectopic pregnancies. Will you be left to bleed to death because doctors are afraid to provide this care because they think they will get in trouble? You know, it goes to whether or not in vitro fertilization will remain legal because a lot of, you know, people on the far right think that's abortion. It goes to whether you can have contraception. There are a lot of people on the far right who think that is abortion. Are women talking about those other issues, or is this just a matter of, nope, this is about abortion, this is about getting that particular kind of care?
They're talking about every issue you just named every day, every minute, every hour. Women are sharing deeply personal stories of how they know this decision would have impacted really difficult decisions that they've had to make previously in their life. They know how it impacts all of their reproductive health care. And they know that those decisions, to make the right decisions, to make the safe decisions, they need to be able to make these decisions with their doctors and not have politicians or the government involved. Women are sharing these stories, thousands of them, in our online communities every day, and they're connecting with each other. We've had 8,000 women sign up to volunteer as part of our midterm outreach program. Women are energized because this is so deeply personal in the ways you just said.
Absolutely. And for people on the far right, just look at this picture right now. You see this? You see what you're seeing right here? This is who owns women. Women own women. We own our own bodies. And good luck trying to force us back into the 1950s or the 1850s. We ain't going. Not without one hell of a fight.